I should have colored it.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
I'm choosing to ignore the cuts and bumps and bruises. I'm cruising through these haters, leave them looking stupid. They foolish if they think they'll ever hear my conclusion. I'm through with all these part-timers and their excuses. I'm bruising eagles left and right every time I do this. I'm shooting for the top, no I'll never settle where you did. The future's in my hands, my grip will never lose it. My crew is ready to obtain the absolution, removing any doubt that we was ever fooling.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another killer episode of Still Toking with. By now, you should know who I am. That's all I'm going to say. I am. Hey. I have the power to mute the mic. I am actually really excited, in a good way, for tonight's show. Our guest has done so many things that we all love. I'm not going to steal anybody's thunder, but I am going to bring in the sparkly one, Mr. Jeffrey Mark.
Well, I'm all excited too because we have a friend, someone I admire tremendously as a talent, great talent, and as a person, maybe even greater in heart than talent, and the talent is exceptional. And we're teasing you a lot, but for you baby boomers out there, if I would say to you, who's our favorite TV star? Who comes on with a wham? Who's got the wackiest show by far? You'd know the answer to that. And you're gonna
we hope.
We hope. We hope. But in the meantime, let me bring in the third prong of our triumvirate, my friend Jeff Holman.
Hey, happy Wednesday. Yes, this guy's done so much shit, it's unbelievable. But I'm still trying to figure out if it ends in EN, AN, or ER. I was a little confused about that, So, yeah, I'm looking forward to talking with Mr. Bob Bergen. Welcome to the show.
Well, I will give you an answer on the name if you'd like.
Please
do.
First of all, it's Bergen, not Bergen. That's number one.
Well, I knew that.
I know. Number two, my real name is Bob Berger. But when I went to join SAG, there was already a Bob Berger at SAG. And the lady with nails about 6 inches long is typing away. And she's like, uh-oh. I said, what's wrong? She goes, you can't use your name. Someone else has your name. And I said, what does that mean? She said, well, it means you need another name. And I said, well, how does that work? Can I think about it for like a day or two? And she said, the initiation goes up tomorrow. And she starts typing away and she goes, do you like Bergen? I went, well, she goes, I love Bergen. And she hands me a little sheet and says, you're now Bob Bergen. And that's how I got Bob Bergen.
Okay.
Okay, but what's with the E and the A difference?
Somebody misspelled a credit and don't believe everything you read on Wikipedia.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, because when I made the image, I used the E, but when Ben made the description of you, he used the A. So I was a little confused.
Yeah, it's credits are wrong. So whatever.
Hey, listen, we all can't be perfect.
That's right.
We got to mess up something somewhere, sometime.
I just figure if they cash the check, I don't care what the name says.
Right.
That's right.
As long as they sign the check.
That's right.
So,
right.
In case our viewers didn't catch that little from Mr. Jeffrey Mark at the beginning here, why don't you enlighten our viewers and listeners, Mr. Mark, to what that was?
Bob, if I were to sing that again, would you know when to come in?
I think so.
Who's our favorite TV star? Who comes on with a wham? Who's got the wackiest show by far?
That's where Porky comes in?
Yeah.
What does he say?
Porky Pig. Our favorite ham.
Oh, the Porky Pig. It's the favorite ham. Or do I say that, or do you?
Well, it's too late now. Anyway.
But I thought he says, that's me, folks.
That's the next one.
Oh, see, okay. It's been a while.
Yeah. So see, everybody, it's going to be a little loony tonight.
We're referencing the Porky Pig show from 1964. So, it's not exactly right at the top of everybody else's brain, except mine, where it lives all the time.
There you go.
Right. And happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ah, you beat me to it.
Yeah, I know.
Are you gonna sing?
No, I don't sing.
Not you. Thank God.
Bob, but I embarrass you?
No, nothing embarrasses me. Well, yet.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I know better. I know better than that, but I won't embarrass you here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bob. Happy birthday to you. That's all, folks.
Thank you, Jeffrey, my friend.
I love you, my buddy.
Back at you.
So now that we've went loony already today, folks, let's get into some fun. Oh wait, we're already having fun, aren't we?
We'll go from loony to merry.
There we go.
Well,
yeah.
We can do that. I want to start off by saying you've done some additional voices in a lot of films that my 3-year-old granddaughter just goes woo over. And one of those is Minions, and Minions: The Rise of Gru, the Emoji Movie, Ice Age: The Meltdown. I mean, wow.
None of which I watch.
Well,
Did you say none of which you watched?
Yeah, no, but I have watched Wreck-It Ralph. I have
Okay.
watched,
I
I have
gotta be
watched,
honest.
Tangled and stuff
But
like that.
I
Yep.
gotta be honest. I don't watch 90% of the stuff I've done. So, anybody who says I've watched your work, I'm like, well, that makes one of us.
That makes one of us.
Yeah.
Right.
You know
And
what's funny is I'm a fan of all those things too, and Bob was kind enough. We were having dinner together, and he called my stepdaughter to do Porky for the grandchildren. They knew the other stuff better
Yeah.
than they knew Porky.
Yeah.
It was it was my 40-year-old stepdaughter who got all thrilled at Porky. The
Right.
grandchildren, it's the other stuff.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's
Different generation. Yep.
yeah. Well, that's why I brought that up, because people my age, your age, Mr. Holman's age, Porky Pig he's the man. Like Porky's the man. And you've also done Tweety and a few of the others.
Mhm.
Speedy Gonzalez, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So we grew up loving that stuff. I mean, me and Jeff used to watch The Roadrunner and just for hours and laugh hysterically.
Well, we were smoking some weed, I think.
Yeah, my wife just yelled from the other room, "You were probably high."
There you go.
Thanks.
Well, that's what Looney Tunes was all about.
Right, but moving forward to the newer generation, like Mr. Mark mentioned, Minions is huge. The Emoji movie is huge. The Secret Life of Pets. I mean, those are all now style movies.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. What did you do in Cars?
I didn't see it, but I remember there were like pit stop characters who were changing tires during the big race, and I did one of those guys.
Oh, okay.
That I remember. Because here's how I try to explain it to people. When you work on a film, whether it's on camera or voiceover, it's never done in sequence. So they only show us the pages that we're doing. I never get the whole script. I never know what the story is when I work on a feature. So if I do see the film, that's how that fits in. Okay. Oh, that makes sense. Or, I would have played that so different if they'd shown me the whole script. Now I get the story. Right. But the director didn't critique. He didn't adjust. So if they're happy, I'm happy. But no, I will tell you that it's when I do fan conventions, I always tell people, think of doing a character on an animated feature like a builder of a house. You might remember the finished product, but you don't remember every doorknob, every shingle, every window. But you remember you did the house. So I remember I did the film, but I may not. There's some films that I remember specific characters, like The Emperor's New Groove. I absolutely remember because it led to a sequel, and it led to 3 years on a series. So it just really depends on the job.
So speaking of The Emperor's New Groove, that's one of the newer films that my granddaughter's been into. It's from my generation.
It celebrated its 25th anniversary this year, so it's not even that new. But because of DVD and streaming, it's available 24/7.
Right, and with the Disney Channel,
today, even Debbie Does Dallas. I mean, it's all new.
I didn't loop that one. It had something to do with my mic technique.
I did the Jewish porn version of that film. Debbie Does Dishes.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go. Okay. By hand?
No.
Nope.
No.
Reel them back in.
Bob, is there a difference? You and I are enormous fans of what I call, the original voice actors, Mel Blanc and June Foray and
Don Messick
and
Stan Freberg. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
They seemed to be on everything when we were growing up. There seemed to be like 8 people who voiced everything. Gary Owens and the folks like that.
Yeah.
It's a much bigger crowd now working, but then and now, voice work is one of the hardest things to get into. You have been so hugely successful. Would you mind? I'm sure you've told the story before. how did your first break through the window? How did you get into the house?
So I wanted to do voices for cartoons since I was little. In particular, I really did want to be Porky Pig since I was 5. And my mom said, "You can't be Porky Pig, you're Jewish," which made no sense to me because we were the kinds of Jews with a menorah next to a Christmas tree. So I got lucky. My dad moved the family to LA when I was 14. And I figured, well, this is where Mel Blanc works and this is where they do cartoons. I should just call Mel Blanc and say, I can do the pig and you're getting old. And wouldn't you like someone to offer you a chance to retire? And I looked through the phone book for his phone number to call him up. And my dad's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm looking for Mel Blanc's phone number." And my dad goes, "Honey, we live in Tarzana. I don't think he's in Tarzana." Okay. So my dad traveled from like Pasadena to Malibu. And, back in the old days, you could go to the post office and get a white page phone book. And he got me a stack of white page phone books. And I just started calling every Mel or M Blanc in the books. And I couldn't find it. And then I thought I'd try calling under his wife's name, which was Estelle. And I knew that because I was just a geeky fan. And I found it and I recorded the conversation. Had a lovely talk with him. He mentioned the name of the studio he was working at the following week, but he didn't say the day or the time. He just said the name of the studio. The studio was and is, because it still exists, was Bell Sound in Hollywood.
Right.
So when I finished talking to him, I called Bell Sound in Hollywood, pretending to be Mel Blanc's assistant to try to find the day and time he's going to be there. So I just pulled this right out of my ass. "Hi, I'm calling to confirm Mel Blanc's appointment next week at Thursday at 9. And the receptionist said, "No, we've got him on the books for Wednesday at 11. I went, "Oh, you're right. I'm looking at the wrong calendar date. I'm so sorry. He will see you next Wednesday at 11. And I said to my mom, "I'm skipping school next Wednesday, and you're going to take me to this studio to watch Mel Blanc work." And she said, "Cool." So when we got to the studio, I told the receptionist that we were guests of Mel Blanc who invited us to watch. And she said, "He's in that booth over there." And we went into that booth over there, and I said to his producer, "Hi, we're really good friends with the receptionist," and she said we could watch. And so, we watched Mel Blanc do his thing, and he was brilliant. I could have died happy that day, you guys. That was just like the coolest day of my life. And as we're driving home, I said to my mom, "Well, he's still doing this. I can't be Porky Pig." And my mom said, "Honey, you're also going into 9th grade and your voice hasn't changed. So I think it's going to take some time." So I came home and called Hanna-Barbera, and they referred me to Dawes Butler. And Dawes Butler had a class, but we lived in Tarzana. He lived in Beverly Hills. And I couldn't ask my parents to drive me to Dawes's workshop once a week, but I found a workshop in Studio City. And I studied with that particular teacher for several years. When I turned 16, got a driver's license. I started studying with Dawes. I studied with anybody that offered a class, acting for 2 years, improv for 3. And when I graduated high school, a friend of the family knew Casey Kasem and had him send me an autographed picture for my high school graduation. And I sent him a thank you note. "Dear Mr. Kasem, thank you for the picture. P.S. I want your job." And I included my phone number, and he called me up and he said, "Do you have a demo?" "No." He said, "Well, make me a homemade demo. Just do some voices on a cassette. And if I like it, I'll give it to my agent." So he liked it. And his agent was a guy named Don Pitts.
Oh, sure.
And Don was at the time at Cedars-Sinai in an oxygen tent. I don't even know what had happened to the poor guy, but he was not well. But Casey went to Cedars and played my little cassette through the plastic. And about 6 weeks later, Don calls me up and he says, "You're very talented. I'd like to represent you." And I said, "Well, mister, I don't know what that means, but as long as it's after 3:00, because until June, I've got school still." And that's how I got my first agent. Don Pitts was the CAA of voiceover. He had Mel Blanc. He had June Foray. He had William Shatner. My first audition was with Orson Welles. I mean, the man was a rock star. And I literally, you guys, I lucked into this. I was trained. I was prepared. But I really got lucky right out of the gate.
Oh, it sounds to me like your whole career started by practicing how to be a stalker.
100%. Oh my God. If people say, what does it take to make it in this business? I'm like, you got to lie, you got to stalk. Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
Yeah, but I'm going to say to you what people have said to me when I say my career has been lucky. People saw the talent in you. They saw the ambition in you. Because without burning ambition, you don't go anywhere in our business.
Agree. I don't care what the it is that you want, whether it's show business or medicine. You've got to want it more than anybody else. Be willing to work harder than everybody else and get there early, stay late. And nice goes a very long way.
Yes. Yes.
Because you can be the most talented person on the planet, but if you're a jerk, you're so replaceable.
Right.
Because you and I have been mentored by some of the most amazing people on the planet.
Yeah.
And it's not just because they were nice. It's because, forgive me for being egotistical, we were talented, we were burning with ambition, and we're both nice guys.
You know, this is why I adore you, my friend, because nice is nice likes nice. You know, it's like a magnet. Yeah. I will tell you guys that, you know, after I got Don Pitts, I took a bottle of wine to I think it was called Watermark Studios in Studio City, where Casey Kasem was doing American Top 40.
Oh yeah. And
I wanted to bring him a bottle of wine as a thank you. And I got to watch him do American Top 40 too, and that was so much fun because he'd play a song, he'd go, that's such a piece of shit. How did it make the top 10? Or he'd read here's your long distance dedication, and the music would start, and he goes, that was a piece of crap. I'm sorry, but you should dump that guy's ass. So that was the fun part of that. But afterwards, I came up to him, gave him the bottle of wine, and I said, Mr. Kasem, just out of curiosity, why did you do this for me? You don't know me from Adam. And he said, because you're very talented, and from this day forward, you're going to promise me that you're going to pay it forward and do it for other people. Which I did, which I do.
Yes, you do.
But I think a lot of people in our, you know, Jeffrey and I will go to industry events and charity events and whatnot, and we see a lot of celebrities, and people are giving back all the time. Sometimes they get credit for it, and sometimes it's just a collective behind the scenes, but people give back if they're good people.
They do. It comes, and sometimes it comes back in the strangest ways. And sometimes it comes back
years later.
I had something happen to me yesterday, real fast. I promise, 1 minute. Back in the 80s, Dr. Matilda Krim came to me looking to raise money because she thought she could help people with AIDS. I did 4 10-hour marathon variety shows. I produced, hosted, and performed. We raised about $500,000 for her. She took the money to Elizabeth Taylor, who matched it, and they started AmFAR with the money.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I've told this story to very few people through the years, but I was having dinner with my publicist, Harlan Bowles, Saturday night, and I told him the story. And he says, Jeff, who's going to believe it? There's no one there to say this is true.
Sure.
I run into someone yesterday, and what do you do to him? Oh, I raise money. Oh, really? Who do you raise money for? He said, oh, I raise money for HIV. I said, oh, I've been doing that for 40 years. He said, how could you be doing it for 40 years? I told him the quick story I just told you. He said, I'm the president of AmFAR. I've been looking for you for years.
Oh, my God.
I knew you existed, but I didn't know your name.
Oh, my God. Wow.
So that kind of stuff happens because we put ourselves out there and give back.
Right.
Yeah.
So real quick, because I'm being beckoned like I always am. My 3-year-old granddaughter is watching this upstairs, so I have to say hi. Hi, Lila. Otherwise, I'll never get the end of it. We had a question come in from Joseph. He says, hey, Bob, who is your favorite voice actor other than Mel Blanc?
Mel Blanc.
Of Looney Tunes, please. Mel's still the GOAT. Yeah. Do you have a favorite voice actor besides Mel?
I actually do. And it's hard to pick just one because there, as Jeffrey was saying, there's a collective that group that did everything, as Jeffrey said back in the day.
Right.
To me, Paul Frees was the best voice actor that ever existed. Many people don't know that many of Mel Blanc's voices were electronically enhanced. They would record them slower, and when they played them back in real time, That's how they got the sound. So, for instance, Daffy Duck and Sylvester are, for all intents and purposes, the exact same voice, but Daffy Duck was recorded slower and played back in real time, sounded faster. Bugs Bunny and Tweety are almost the same voice, but Tweety is sped up. Same with Henry Hawks. Same. Speedy Gonzales is Tweety with a Spanish accent. Paul Frees was the narrator at the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, and the Pillsbury Doughboy, and he was the voice of Tony Curtis when Tony Curtis was in drag in Some Like It Hot. No credit for that. Zero credit. The man was a freak. He was Ludwig von Drake. He was just a genius voice actor. Mel Blanc, I will say, was a genius at characters. So even though Daffy and Sylvester were the same voice, different personalities. Totally. His acting skills were stellar. But it's hard to pick just Paul. June Foray. Don Messick.
Dawes, of course.
Of course, Dawes. And Dawes also had nothing electronically enhanced. And when I studied voiceover for a couple of years before I studied with Dawes. And Dawes was the first voiceover teacher I ever had that used the A word. It's all about the acting. Listen to your scene partner and react to them. Don't just read your lines in a funny voice. The other thing Dawes taught was, and I say this to my students, if you physically play the character, the voice will follow. So when Dawes would do Yogi Bear, he would stick his chest out. And that's how he did Yogi, because he couldn't do it sitting back like this, because he would lose everything. So he taught me that it's from head to toe, like you're on stage playing these characters. Acting is reacting. And today, I record 99% of my jobs in my home booth over here by myself without a scene partner. So I have to use my imagination to react to them. It's not nearly as creatively satisfying, but it is what it is.
Right.
Just for our friends who may not be as knowledgeable as we are about, could you go through a couple of these people and just remind us which voices they did? So
the actors I mentioned?
Yeah.
Well, Dawes Butler was Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, Elroy Jetson, Captain Crunch, Wally Gator, Snagglepuss. I mean, gosh, anything at Hanna-Barbera that wasn't Mel Blanc was Dawes Butler. We said who Mel Blanc was. June Foray was Rocky the Flying Squirrel. She was Granny from the Tweety Sylvester. Can I tell you a June Foray story real fast?
Oh, absolutely.
So June and I met June when I was about the same time I stalked Mel Blanc. I met her at a SIFA animation festival, and we became really good friends. And years and years later, she was also a neighbor of mine. She was being honored at some voiceover animation something in Anaheim, and she asked me to be her escort, and I said sure. And I will tell you that, you know, my darling June, who I adored, you know what? She liked her little vodka tonics, and she just had her couple of vodka tonics, and she's sitting next to me, and they start the presentation for her honor, and they say, let's show a reel of the work of June Foray. And the first clip comes up, and June puts her hand on my thigh, and I'm like, "Oh, June's never done that before. That's different." Okay. And then she started her arthritic fingers started squeezing my thigh, and not in a like happy to see you Bob way. And and I'm like, "What's wrong?" She said, "Bob, every one of those clips are B. Benaderet. B. Benaderet created Granny. B. Benaderet created Witch Hazel, and June took over. And every single clip, except for the Rocky the Flying Squirrels, but all the Warner Brothers stuff was B. Benaderet. And I said, June, you can't say anything when you go on stage. You just have to be gracious. And she goes, like hell I will. And I had to walk her on stage because she was a little fragile. You know, she had to hold on to my arm, and I'm walking on stage and I'm thinking to myself, vodka tonic kick in, vodka tonic kick in. And she got up on stage, and with a standing ovation, she started crying, and she just took in the love and never said a single word. And I sat down and I finished her vodka tonic.
You and I, lucky
Wow.
to know these people. You much better than I.
Yeah.
But people like, let's add a couple of more names. Chuck McCann.
Oh yeah. I didn't know
Yeah.
Chuck well. But I met him and worked with him a few times. A hero.
Yes.
I never got to work with Soupy Sales, but I met him once. I got to meet Jonathan Winters once, but never got to work with him.
I know Johnny well.
Oh, did you? I knew Gary Owens very well.
I got into radio because of Gary.
There you go.
Gary took me out to dinner, and literally, you have a show. I mean, it
Wow.
wasn't a question. You have a show on KRLA. When do
Wow.
you want to start?
Well, I will tell you a Gary Owens story. I was a volunteer Big Brother for Jewish Big Brothers for 2 kids for about 25 years.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And I took my little brother to lunch at Jerry's Deli in Studio City, and we're in the parking lot, and I hear the voice, and I look over, and there's Gary Owens. And my little brother Ryan, I said, this is my friend Gary Owens. He kind of does what I do. And Ryan looks at Gary and says, why is your hair purple? Because Gary Owens' hair was dyed so black it was purple.
Yeah.
And I put my hand over Ryan's mouth. I said, Ryan? And Gary goes, no, Ryan, that's a very, very astute question. My hair is purple, so smart young men like you can tell me my hair is purple. Thank you. I mean, he was just delightful. He was just a very warm, sweet, he and his wife. I missed them both. They were terrific people.
And very, very good friends to me.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I remember growing up as a kid watching all of that stuff. And then, I mean, you took over Porky Pig in what, 1990? Was
Yep.
it 90?
Yeah, that was my first job. Yeah, 1990. Yeah.
Right. 30. So that's 36 years. Damn.
Mm-hmm. But I'd been in the business since 1982.
Right.
And I was lucky. Look, I was a kid growing up in the Midwest. I kind of wanted to play one character. I didn't tell my parents, I want to be an actor. I want to play one character. What were the odds that I'd get to LA and I'd be trained and well represented and working at a time that, and Warner Brothers, and I talked to Warner Brothers about this. They weren't prepared for this. They didn't want to face the inevitable that someday they're going to have to replace this genius. And they had to. Mel Blanc, when he wasn't that sick yet, but they were already in the works on this show called Tiny Toon Adventures. Yeah. And the plan was to have the classic characters and the new characters. So if the new characters didn't make it with fans, they would just make a Bugs Bunny show. And he passed away. And they were like, what do we do? What do we do? God bless Andrea Romano. Andrea Romano is a gem of a person.
Yes.
And a gem of she started out as an actress, then she was an agent, and then she was in casting at Hanna-Barbera, and then Warner Brothers grabbed her. She was responsible for finding, Dawes passed away in 87, 2 years before Mel. So she was responsible for finding replacements for Dawes, and she was responsible for finding for that first job replacements for Mel. None of us come close to Mel's genius. None of us that do these voices. And there have been many. There's a rotating group of actors who've done these over the years. None of us are him. Nobody will be. But, the characters, I did a presentation at the TV Academy a few years ago called But the Characters Live On. And it was about the next generation of actors who take over for classic characters. But it wasn't just cartoons. I had Mallory Lewis there with Lamb Chop.
Yes.
And because, all characters are evergreen, but the artists behind them, they're gonna change.
A fast Mallory story.
Okay.
I was taken to see her and to meet her.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, a bunch of us from the Army went to see her perform. And she does Lamb Chop. Honestly, you almost cannot tell it's not Sherry's.
Unbelievable.
But the material is different because Mallory believes Lamb Chop has to be more adult to work.
Yeah.
And I was taken to meet her, and Lamb Chop offered me a blowjob.
Yes. Well, you know what? Sherry was like that too. I did a charity event. It was a children's charity, but there was a wine reception beforehand, and I had been schmoozing with Sherry, who was just you know who she reminded me of, Jeffrey? She reminded me very much of Florence Henderson in the fact that she was bawdy as hell.
Yeah.
She was a broad in the best sense of the word. But I said, Sherry, they're serving lamb chops tonight. And she said, thank you for giving me my act tonight. and it was all, lamb chop was all about, scram folks, it's the Holocaust. It was hysterical. And it was really, really, really not for kids, but it was great. And Mallory, you're right. I rarely have I seen somebody who was so close to the original. Now,
I mean, you know, I remember going, you know, watching all this stuff through the years and be like, wait a minute, that's not Bugs Bunny. That's a different voice, you know, and things transitioned as I grew, which was
sure.
you know, but,
Right.
you know, and I was trying to accept that, you know what I mean? It's like, what happened?
Well, when we were kids,
I mean, I'm the exact same age as you are. So
okay. So when we were kids, Barney Rubble on the original run of the Flintstones, his voice changed 3 times.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The first season,
Barney Rubble sort of sounded like this. Hey, Fred, where's Wilma?
and Mel Blanc was in that terrible car accident, and they brought in Dawes Butler to take over. And they said, Joe Barbera said to Dawes Butler, it's kind of like a takeoff on the Honeymooners. So do your Ed Norton. Because
He couldn't do the voice that Mel did for Barney. He couldn't get there.
So Joe said, do your Ed Norton from the Honeymooners. And Dawes said, well, there's a problem with that. Joe Barbera said, what's the problem? That's my Yogi Bear. Because Yogi Bear is Ed Norton. So he just pitched him up a little bit to get that second Barney Rubble. Mel Blanc came out of his coma, had a pay-or-play contract, which meant that no matter how long the show runs, he gets paid for it, whether he voiced it or not. And he was in a full body cast. So they put up a microphone over his bed, and the actors would lean in over his casted body and record the cartoon. The show had already debuted. First season had debuted. And Mel Blanc, he couldn't get his voice as high as Dawes. So he did Barney Rubble like this, and he kept it down here, and he sort of made it his own, and he added the so he chipped it 3 times. Now, there was no social media back then. Can you imagine Barney Rubble's changed 3 times? The fans going crazy and let's cancel the Flintstones. Barney Rubble's voice changed. I mean, it would be it would be nuts. It would be a mess.
Right.
God, there were times in our business called show that there was no social media.
And what was amazing for Mel is that he got cast. He was starring in 2 series, nighttime network series, because the Bugs Bunny show debuted the same time as the Flintstones.
Yeah.
Both on ABC.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And you know, Bugs Bunny show was wraparounds, but original wraparounds, and really cool. And if you hunt for it, you can find a lot, like on YouTube, some of the older with the commercial endorsements, and it's black and white. It's really kind of cool to see that stuff.
Tang.
There we go.
Well, so I have to ask, what as a kid growing up, what was, beside Porky Pig, what was your favorite cartoon?
Loved the old black and white Fleischer Popeye cartoons.
Nice.
Hated it when the 1960 limited animation.
Oh, that was awful.
It was not only was it awful, but it was produced by the same people that worked for Fleischer in the 30s. So, but it was terrible. I liked Speed Racer, and I didn't even know it was anime.
No.
I just liked Speed Racer.
Yeah, I didn't know it was anime. I didn't even know anime existed.
I didn't know what
at that point.
anime was.
No, I didn't know.
I just knew that for some reason, the cadence of the show was weird because he would talk like this a mile a minute, but he had to match the mouth flaps. But I just thought that was Speed Racer. I loved Rocky and Bullwinkle, but I was too young to understand that it was a satire of the Cold War. I didn't know what a warm war was. So I just thought it was a funny Moose and Squirrel. I liked, I was like 5 or 6 when Scooby-Doo, Where Are You debuted. It's really,
Scooby-Doo.
you know, what's really interesting is that, you know, people today look back at Scooby-Doo and the Funky Phantom and all those Hanna-Barbera shows as classics, but when they debuted, they were like, "Ooh, it's terrible. It's limited animation. It's kiddie stuff." It's so interesting how generations later, yesterday's crap is today's classic.
Right.
Going in a little different direction. And you said I couldn't embarrass you. I'm going to embarrass you.
All right.
You are a very handsome man. Have you ever said, why aren't I working on live action stuff? Because you photograph beautifully and you're just gorgeous.
Well, God, I wish you were in casting. I did some sitcom work back in the 80s. I did, like, you know, Facts of Life, Give Me a Break, One Day at a Time. The last on-camera job I had, I hosted a game show like 30 years ago. I got to be really honest. I could never get an agent. I could never get anybody interested in me. If they were, they wanted my voiceover work too. And I'm like, you don't do voiceover. So no, I'm not. So I literally could never get a theatrical agent interested in representing me. And I don't think I can use episodes of The Facts of Life as my current tape to try to get representation today. So, you know, I mean, it would have been nice. I would have loved to have done a multicam sitcom as an actor. To me, that's the ultimate, because it's like theater. You got an audience, and that's really. I did some soap opera work. I did a show called Capital. I did a show called Santa Barbara. But also, guys, as you can tell, I don't like to shave, and I don't like to memorize. So, you know, voiceover, you don't have to shave, and you don't have to memorize. And as we said earlier, pants are optional. So I kind of, I'm not going to lie to you. If somebody were to come to me and say, look, I've got this sitcom idea that I think you're perfect for, I wouldn't say no. I might have to, when I booked the game show, which was a kid's version of Jeopardy, and my agent called me up and to congratulate me. And I said, don't accept the job yet. And she said, why? I said, I need to think about it for 24 hours. And she's like, what is there to think about? You screen tested. They hired you. I said, I'm a voice actor and I work and I'm anonymous. If this is a success, I lose privacy. I don't know if I want to do that. She said, then why did you audition for it? And I said, well, you sent me. So, can I tell you how I got that job?
Please.
I'd watched Jeopardy, but I'd never memorized Jeopardy. And I auditioned, I got a call back, I got another call back, I got a screen test. My screen test was running an episode of Jeopardy on the set of Jeopardy with Johnny Gilbert as my announcer. And the 3 contestants were 3 children of Sony executives. Ooh. And before we taped, I walked up to each kid and I said, make me look good, I'll buy you each a car. And I didn't know what the categories were going to be before we started taping. And one of the categories was famous cartoon characters. And the answer is, he ends all Looney Tunes cartoons with,
that's all, folks.
The answer is,
oh, he's Olive Oil's boyfriend. He likes spinach.
I mean, it was a dream. And when I was done, one of the producers came up to me and said, have you ever thought of voiceover? Yeah. And I said, that's my day job. They didn't know, because I had a hosting agent who sent me to this audition. And I got the job, and I sent each of the kids a Matchbox car. I never told them what kind of car.
Right.
Oh, you're a man of your word.
I am indeed.
You have such a magnificent ear. You have such a magnificent ear.
I heard you.
Ear.
Oh,
yes.
I heard rear. Yeah.
I heard rear too, but yeah.
That's right.
Well, he happens, but that's another story. Is there any voice you've tried to do but you can't do? Because even just talking with you today, you did Gary Owen's voice, you did Casey's voice perfectly.
Well, thank you very much. I wouldn't say perfectly. You're not comparing them side to side, but I do I can do an essence of. Yeah, I passed on Yosemite Sam. I tried auditioning for him, and I can get into the neighborhood of it, but I can't quite nail it. But for me, it just hurts,
Yes.
Oh, the rudeness, tootness, God dang good. And after one sentence, there's blood. Okay. So I'm like, I don't need to do that one.
It was very hard for Mel to do that one.
Mel had in his contract that he would do it on a Friday.
Yeah.
And so did Maurice LaMarche when he was doing Yosemite Sam would do it on a Friday. Yeah. But I pass on auditions all the time. I pass on a lot of games that look throaty. If there's a lot of screaming, I won't do a game that has excessive violence. Not that I'm a prude. Ask my friend Jeffrey. No, I'm not at all a prude. But I also don't.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. But I don't need to lend my name to content that if I had kids, I wouldn't want them to play. So I don't need to do that.
Right.
I'm really bad at accents and dialects. If they're looking for authentic, I suck. And I could try and study, but I don't want to. I'm 62. There's other things I do, and I don't want to spend time learning how to do that. But
amen to that.
Well, I will tell you that
Right.
I'll get an audition, and I'll look at the specs, and I'm like, I can't do what they're asking. So I'll just pretend like I didn't read the specs and make it my own. And that's what I think most actors should do, no matter what the audition is, be it voiceover or on camera. The actor that walks in and makes it their own. This is why when an actor auditions for something, then they see it on the air and they're like, that's not what they were asking for. I could have done that if they'd asked me for it. But some actor took a risk, took a chance. Some actor said, I'm going to win the room. I'm going to win them, whether I book it or not, if I do it my way. And if you don't book it, today's audition is really an insurance policy for something else. They can only pick one person. But if they like you, be it the casting director, the network, the showrunner, you're going to be remembered the next time you're right for something.
Absolutely.
Well said. Well said. So
Right.
we
So
know that.
I had a question for you. Have you developed your own character? Not a character that somebody wanted you to voice.
The majority of what I do is from scratch. It's just not memorable, So like Bucky the Squirrel from The Emperor's New Groove. I'll tell you how I got that. But I think I've told it before, but I'll tell it again. I just got called to go to Disney to play a squirrel. Okay. I didn't audition for a squirrel. I just got called to do a squirrel. And yeah, exactly. That's up.
Squirrel.
Very good. Very good. And I get to the stage at Disney, and the director is a guy named Mark Dindal, who tells me there's a character named Kronk who speaks squirrel, and the squirrel chatters and Kronk translates. And I'm looking at the script, and the Kronk says squeak, squeak, and squeak, squeak. And I said, you want me to say squeak, squeak, and squeak, squeak? And he goes, no, I need you to go create a language and a voice for this character. I said, can I take about 5 minutes to think about it? And he said, sure. So for your viewers who've never been to Disney, there are areas that look very much like a park. Green grass, park benches, whatever. And I'm sitting on the park bench, and I'm thinking squeak, squeak, and squeak, squeak. And I kid you not, guys, a little squirrel came running down a tree, came up to me, and he got up on his hind legs, and he looked at me and he goes, and went, thank you. And I went back into the stage, and I said, how about, and Mark goes, oh yeah, that'll work.
Now, does the squirrel get residuals?
You bet he does. Are you talking about the one? I talking about the one.
I was going to say, he gave him a couple of nuts, right?
Oh no, but here's the deal. Every time I work at Disney, I always see a squirrel, and I always say thank you. And I know it's probably a great grand squirrel, but I just maybe he was animatronic. I don't know, but I'm grateful to that little squirrel.
That's great.
Do you enjoy teaching as much as you enjoyed learning?
Sure. Oh, I love teaching. Yeah. Yeah. I
Talk
don't do it.
talk about your teaching career a little bit, please, for the aspiring people out there.
Been teaching. Next year will be 40 years. Didn't ever want to do it. Fell into it. Love every second of it. When I never did this virtual teaching thing because I thought you can't do it justice. And I had so many people asking because they don't live in LA. Hey, would you just teach me on Zoom? And I'm like, it's like picking your nose wearing a glove. You might get in there, but it's not very satisfying. I don't think I'm going to be good at this. And then COVID hit, and I had a 4-year wait list for my workshop in Los Angeles. And all my students were like, well, can we at least do something over Zoom? I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And I found not only did I love it, but I could do more in an hour with one person than 3 hours with 8. So I gave up teaching group classes entirely, unless I go out of town and teach. I do that every once in a while. And I just do private Zooms. And I only do 1 or 2 a week because that's all I got time for. And I love it. I love, when you're a teacher and you find that person with the it factor, whether it's voiceover or dance or opera, whatever it is, and you're just sitting there and you're going, I'm in the presence of greatness. And it's just, and you can't tell them that because you don't want them to stop trying.
Right.
You don't want them to take it for granted.
Mm.
But man, I have had students over the years where I'm thinking, I can't wait to do a show with them. And I have, each and every one.
You've mentioned your age inadvertently, but you've got the body of a 30-year-old. How do you stay in such great shape?
Oh, you're lovely. Well, I will tell you that the men in my family historically look gorgeous until 65, and then it's downhill. I mean, every single one. So I
thought you were going to say you chase squirrels.
I know, right?
Well, we already knew that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, if you don't tuck your shirt, it covers up all kinds of wonderful bumps. Yeah, I work out. I do Pilates. I do what I have to do. I eat low carb. But I will tell you guys, man, after about 58, everything I was doing right wasn't right enough. So it's hard. Hi, who is this?
Can you say hi?
Hi.
You want to hear?
Hi. What's your name?
He said, "What's your name?" Tell me your name. Go ahead.
Come on. What's your name?
Tell him.
Now she got shy.
Yeah,
I
I know.
know.
You know why? Because it's very strange to hear that coming out of a human being. I get
Can you
that.
say hi?
Hi.
Oh, I
Take your
still
things
do
out of
that.
Yeah, because now I'm talking like a person.
What's
So
your name?
I'll do Porky Pig for little kids, and they'll be like, "Work on it." I'm like, "Okay, I will."
Really?
Yeah,
Thank you.
nice try, dude.
Yeah.
What a
Wow.
pun, huh?
You gonna tell me? Are you gonna tell me your name or no?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
What's your name?
Hi, no. Nice to meet you. I'm Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're Rose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lila Rose.
Yes.
Oh. So the show's about him, though.
This one.
So, all right.
So,
Well, we're
Bob,
getting-
is
go
there a
ahead.
character that you
I
haven't
don't
had a
think
chance
so.
to do that you would like to do?
I get asked that question all the time, and
I'm sure you do.
I'll know it when I get it.
You'll know it when you get it.
Yeah,
All right.
I audition every day of my life, and when you get that job that you've never done before, that looks like a lot of fun. That's the one. I'm not a psychic. I don't have a preconceived idea of a character that I've not done because I don't know what that is.
You are one of the most upbeat people I know. And yet I know that not everything has come up roses all the time for you. How do you deal with the bumps in life?
Gratitude. I mean, you got to be grateful for what you've got. You got to be grateful for what you've had. It's called life, everybody's got bumps in the road. And I think one of the detriments of social media is that it's become the world's biggest group therapy gripe. And all people do is complain about everything. And I feel sorry for kids who are looking at social media because the narrative is our past was horrible, our present is terrible, our future is bleak. And who wouldn't be depressed? I've been very, 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 listen, it's not been all roses. I've had strikes. I've had shows canceled. You get replaced. I mean, shit happens. But how can I complain that for 36 years, I've been the predominant voice of a character I've wanted to play since I was 5 years old? That ain't bad. So
Right.
I just, I don't wear my emotions on my sleeve. I never did. I just see people complaining about things that aren't complain worthy. And I'm like, man, you're letting this thing called life pass you by. You know, as a proper gay man, I'm a huge fan of anti-MAME. Okay? Life is a banquet, and most poor sons of bitches are starving to death.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm going to ask my question now because everybody kept going. We know you love playing Porky Pig.
Yes.
But of all the other voices that you've had the pleasure of doing, is there another that really is just near and dear to you?
A lot of things that probably you guys never saw, never heard of, aren't popular, weren't ratings successful. I did this movie called Spirited Away where I played this really creepy ghost named No Face that anime fans know. It was just a genius. Miyazaki was the director, a genius animated piece. Back in the 80s, I did for one season, they did an animated version of Fraggle Rock.
Yes, they did.
And
Yep.
Between working for the Hensons and John Semper and Cynthia Friedlop, who were the writer producers, and the cast of actors who became friends, Townsend Coleman, Rob Paulson, Mona Marshall, Patty Paris, John Stevenson. John Stevenson was Mr. Slate on the Flintstones.
He was also the original announcer on I Love Lucy.
Yes, he was. And how would you know that about Lucy? Come on. By the way, you can't see it. You can't see behind me, but you're on my bookshelf. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got Mel Blanc's autobiography. I've got my buddy Just Outside the Spotlight. I've got That's Not All Folks by Mel Blanc, and I got the Lucy book
By Jeffrey Mark.
by Jeffrey Mark. Yeah. So Jeffrey Mark is in my office. John Stevenson, every session I'd say, I'm Fred Flintstone, fire me. Flintstone! No! I mean, I just had to do that every session.
At the 50th anniversary of I Love Lucy, there was this gigantic party thrown.
Right.
And John was there.
Mm-hmm.
And he could never live down one of the pieces of copy they gave him to say on one of the shows, and it ran for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you inhale? Well, we think you do, and if you do, you got to smoke. Philip Morris. He said, I've got this body of work that appeals to children. The last thing I want to be remembered for is, do you inhale?
Oh, that's hysterical. So question for you. So who was the announcer after him through, like, Here's Lucy?
Roy Rowan did all the rest of it.
Did he also do Life with Lucy?
No, Roy was gone already by that
I thought so.
But the Lucy show, Here's Lucy, the Lucy specials.
Right.
And then a whole bunch of other things that weren't Lucy. Roy worked all the time.
Oh, I know that. But his voice is so associated with, and I don't know if he did. So did John do the original animated openings, and he did the syndicated Heart?
What they did, John did the original openings. Jerry Hausner did some of the original.
Jerry
openings.
Hausner, no kidding.
Yeah, and what they did when they put the show, so I Love Lucy was, for those of you who are wondering what the hell we're talking about, was first on the air. Philip Morris was the sponsor, and they had special animated openings for it. And these men we're talking about were the announcers. When the show left the United States and was no longer, like in Canada, being sponsored by Philip Morris, they did that Heart opening that we all know and love. And retroactively, Roy went in and did most of the stuff. You can still hear the other two guys sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 forward, it's all Roy Rowan, who another really handsome guy who did great voices and should have had a bigger career as an actor, but
Well, he did the occasional cigarette ads along with Desi and Lucy on camera.
he did. He did, and he got the job because he did an episode playing an announcer.
Yeah,
and they liked him so much they hired him.
Right.
We geek out like this all the time when we're together.
We do.
It's great. It's great. We are getting close to time. So, Mr. Holman, any last questions for this amazing gentleman?
Yeah. I have at least one. There might be 5. But do you cook your own food, or do you prefer to have somebody cook it for you?
Like my chef. No, I cook. I love to cook, and I do most of the cooking in the house. So my husband and I eat keto. We eat low carb. So yesterday I made mint chocolate chip ice cream. I made thin mint Girl Scout cookies. I make bread. I bake and cook all the time. And I like bacon.
You like
tell
baking or bacon?
Bacon.
Okay. All right. So you do like to cook. That's cool.
I do.
All right. Okay. Nice. You kind of answered my second question already, because you do like rodents. So I'm good with that.
Okay.
Because of squirrels.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let me catch you up on that one.
All right.
What do you like on your pizza?
I don't eat cheese and I don't eat bread. So, air.
Tomato sauce.
I'm not. So.
You don't eat fucking pizza?
I don't like cheese. I don't like the taste of dairy. You know? Do you guys
Really?
Do you guys like stinky blue cheese?
I do.
I love it.
Most human beings do. You know that it smells like you stepped in dog shit and vomit. That stinky blue cheese smell. That smell is what butter tastes like to me.
Wow.
Really?
So I don't like the taste of dairy.
Okay.
I know most people would rather have dairy than air.
There's a joke there, but I'm not going to say it.
You can
Yeah,
say
dairy
it.
air.
For me, it's cottage cheese. Just don't.
There's another joke.
No, I don't do.
We could
cottage
go
cheese.
on all night. Is that your last question?
No, I got one more.
Okay.
Cats or dogs?
Well, I've had both. They're both different. I can't have a pet because my husband's allergic to everything. But if I could, it would be a dog, and it would be a golden retriever.
Okay. Nice.
So
I'm done.
Mr. Jeffrey Mark. Any last questions for this amazing gentleman?
Yeah, when I come into town for the next event, will you please have dinner with me?
Damn yes.
All right.
All right.
Laurel and Hardy at the Hollywood Museum.
When is it?
Don't know the date yet. Probably in April.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good month because I'm doing a lot of traveling through the end of March. So yay, that'd be great. Maybe could we possibly do like a Musso and Frank down the street and then?
I insist.
I love. Okay, good. Cool.
Musso and Frank is the oldest restaurant in Hollywood, and it's amazing.
It is amazing.
Okay.
Just the ghosts of Hollywood live there, and the food is wonderful.
There we go.
I
got
just
to
want to
mortgage,
go for the.
you got to
go for the
mortgage your
ghosts.
house to pay for it, but it's wonderful.
There you go.
Yeah, I just want to go for the ghosts.
Nice.
Sorry, I was reading a question that came in. So we have one last question that came in from a viewer.
All right.
It says, I know animation fans get mad when a celebrity does a voice acting role for movies.
Really?
Some good ones do it.
Yeah, you make that make sense, and I'll answer it myself.
Okay, I can't make that make sense. I think he's asking if there's a celebrity that might have done a voice that you do that made you mad.
There hasn't. I think
that's what he's asking.
The question might be is how do I feel about celebrities getting the leads in animated features as opposed to those of us that do these characters or do character. I think it's okay, Bob. I know animation fans get mad when a celebrity does a voice acting for a role. You know, and okay, yeah, I don't get mad when celebrities do the leads, and here's why. It's called show business for a reason. the marquee value, being able to say that Tom Hanks is the voice of Woody, or they'll pick a celebrity, Bob. It doesn't matter.
Tiffany.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not Tiffany. No, that was a bad one.
That's why I brought it up.
That was a bad one. But the thing is, they want butts in seats in the theaters, and starring the voice of Bob Bergen is not going to sound as interesting to the general audience as Ellen DeGeneres, Tom Hanks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. However, there's work for all of us. At the end of every animated feature, and you guys were bringing it up earlier, you see a clump of names that says additional voices. So here's how additional voices came to be. The Renaissance for Disney was The Little Mermaid and also Roger Rabbit. Before those movies, animated features didn't have a lot of actors. And all of a sudden, there's bigger films, more characters, more actors. And SAG's rule was that if an actor says a line, they get screen credit. Well, the scroll was going to go on forever and ever and ever. So a casting director named Mickey McGowan had made a deal on behalf of animation casting with SAG. What about these non-celebrities? Can we just keep them in the credits and say additional voices so you don't have to credit every sound, every character, everything they did? And that way they stay in the credits and they stay in the residual pool. And SAG said, okay. The studio said, okay, that's what additional voices means.
We would be enormously remiss if we didn't spend at least 1 minute talking about the incredible work you've done at our unions. Whenever I have a union question, you're the person I call. How did you get so involved? Because your involvement has made the unions a better place.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I got involved because I saw them doing a lousy job. And I got involved. I was very new to the business. In 1987, there was a television animation voice actor strike. And I was on that picket line, and I met a lot of actors, and I learned a lot about the business. And 3 years later, the next contract was being negotiated, and I asked to be on the negotiating committee. And I had been on that committee since 1990, and for the last, I think, 12 years, 4 contracts. I'm about to do it again in a few months. I've chaired that contract negotiation, and I'm also the national chair of the voiceover committee. I'm involved because many in leadership at the union don't work, and they're not hands-on with what's happening with the realities of our industry, and I am. And I talk to both sides of the fence. I talk to working union actors and working non-union actors. Animation is the only union voiceover contract or contract in voiceover that is still 90% union, and it's because of celebrities. The majority of voiceover is non-union, but animation has stayed union. It's an interesting time, you guys. When I got into the business in 1982, I was told you'll never break in. There's only 3 networks, and all they've got is Saturday morning cartoons. And I'm like, I don't care. I'll try. I'll do it. And I did it. Today, we've got several 24/7 networks dedicated to animation. We've got streaming animation. Every major motion picture has animated features that bring in more box office than the live action. We've got games. Never have there been more opportunities for a voice actor to work in animation. And because it stayed union, and everybody I know, or everybody who can reach me, I will go fight for them at the union. I'll fight for your residual this late. I will fight for your contract. I will get you in touch with the right people at the union. When you live in Poughkeepsie and you're having an issue with a commercial contract that's union, who are you going to go to? So that's actually one of the things I like about social media is I've made myself extremely available to people. But people did that for me too. So I'm just kind of, mirroring what was done for me.
Get forward.
I don't know what's going to happen with our union guys. AI is a problem.
Huge.
Non-union.
That's a whole show in itself.
It is indeed. I'm asked all the time if AI advances to the point where they could take Mel Blanc's old recordings and generate brand new cartoons with his voice through AI, how would you feel about it? And my answer really is, who better than Mel Blanc to do Looney Tunes? If I ran Warner Brothers and they were flawless, indistinguishable, hell, you bet. And I would look back and say that was 36 great years. You can't stop the tide that is technology. I don't know if that's going to happen in my lifetime, but I bet it will happen.
Well said. Well said.
Yep, faster than we think, I believe.
Right. Yeah. So I generally don't ask a question at the end. I let everybody do their thing and then I wrap the show. But I do want to ask, what is something that you geek out about? Like something that nobody knows. Do you collect like shoes? Something, you know,
I collect life masks of artists that I admire. So up there you will see Anthony Hopkins, Hitchcock. You'll see Nicholson. I just recently purchased Jerry Lewis and De Niro. Don't judge me on my Jerry Lewis. I think he was a genius. I've got Brando. I've got Cagney.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Bob Hope, Robin Williams. So that's something I geek out about. On TV, I love reality. I love The Amazing Race. I love Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Really?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'll tell Andy how much you're a big fan.
Andy, do you know Andy?
Yeah.
Andy and I went to Camp Nabagaman.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Camp Nabagaman?
Camp Nabagaman. Camp Nabagaman.
Yeah.
In Wisconsin. Yeah, I'm a TV geek. I've got my TV is on 24/7, or at least when I'm in my office, and it's more often than not classic TV, catchy comedy. Watch I Love Lucy, Here's Lucy, There's Lucy, Everywhere Lucy. You know, whatever Lucy's on. Yeah, I'm a TV fanatic. I also am a voracious reader. I love memoirs. And I'm a foodie.
Do you believe in aliens?
I believe that it would be ignorant to think that they don't exist. But
Thank you for that.
But I'm a tough person when it comes to believing. I believe they probably do, but I don't know. I don't know.
So there you have it, folks. That hour just flew by.
I do believe in Martians.
Good one.
So Bob,
so yes,
where do you like interacting with your fans on social medias? Do you
Yeah, I'm so easy to find. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I answer emails every single day. bob@bobbergan.com. Yeah, it's if you say I can't find you, you're lying. Yeah, I'm so easy to find.
So, and for everybody watching or listening to this later, or even watching this later, just check the show notes up above or down below. All his information is there. There's no excuse.
There's no excuse.
No excuse. Mr. Jeffrey Mark. Same question.
A wonderful show. Oh, I love having people I love near me on camera with me. That's just wonderful. Facebook, Jeffrey Mark, spelled as it is below me here, or if you're only listening, GeoffreyMark. On Instagram, Jeffrey Mark Showbiz, all one long word. And I also spend a great deal of time answering you guys who reach out to me, so please do. And if you haven't quite gotten enough of me, we have another show. Jeffrey Mark Plays Ella, GPE, every week. Comes out around brunch time on Sundays. I play the music of Ella Fitzgerald on a theme, and then I talk about it and tell you all the insider details about the music and the songs and the albums, and of course, Ella. And Ben is my producer, and Jeff sprinkles his love all over it. So the three of us are there, even if all three of us aren't there. So, Bob, I just love you.
I got you, buddy.
Oh, I'm up.
You're up.
Scooby Doo.
Where
Thank
are
you,
you?
Bob? Huh?
Yeah, you said
Oh,
Scooby Doo. I said, where
I
are
get
you?
it.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
Yeah, Bob, thank you. You brought me back a few years talking about all this stuff, which was pretty cool. You're a very, very talented individual, and it has been an absolute pleasure and an honor. All right, with that bullshit aside, go to Still Token, stilltoken.com, Token with the Dead on Facebook. You can Google Jeff. Good luck with that.
Wow, that was a quick one for you.
Oh yeah,
So-
I mean, I'm still trying to fucking pack to get on a flight at fucking whatever god awful time tomorrow morning.
Oh, anyway,
You know, I got to check my underwear. I usually have to throw a couple of extras in there. You know.
well, yeah, but you're going to
Being my
Palm
age.
Springs, so you're going to need like 5 extra because it's 103. Anyway, we do want to thank Bob for taking time out of his busy schedule to spend some time with us and hopefully entertain you like he has entertained us for many years. Wow.
Wow, that was good, Ben.
Hold on. I gotta dry the tear. Like Jeff said, stilltoking.com, you can find out everything you want to know about us from this show. All 7 seasons are there. We add them every week, to the novels, to the comic books, to the live action TV series, to the one animation that we have. With all that, to all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do so people like us can come up here and do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. We are out of here.
Have a happy.
Bye.